Hey, what's going on guys? It's Dazs here. I'm proud to say that I'm starting a new series and that it'll come out once a week called Improving Your Aim. First, I want to talk about what it is and what's to come on the channel and topics that I'll cover. In this series, it's going to cover everything I discuss really from my streams. I want to talk more in depth guides and conversations that'll help steer towards improving your overall aim. The examples will be polling rate on mice, comfort and sensitivity, how to practice correctly, mice versus controller, luck versus consistency, montages versus great gameplay, setting realistic goals, the power of not thinking, monitor resolutions, FOV myths, and focus and concentration. These are just really examples of what is to come. There are all concepts we have discussed in depth on stream, and my goal is to set them in videos for everyone just to reference to. As we grow together, we can do two-part series or updates to each of the episodes. But let us start at the very basic. Sensitivity. I know lots of peeps when it comes to my streams and they really want to know what my sensitivity is. When I started out, I would just tell everyone what it was. After doing some coaching sessions, I realized without context how hurtful this really is actually towards your overall growth unless I have a video like this explaining the concept. It is why I have waited a while to discuss it. So first, I'm going to tell you what my sensitivity is, and then I'll explain why I chose it and why it's not really good to copy. I utilized 1% sensitivity in Battlefield and 1800 DPI. Then I switched to 0% sensitivity and 1800 DPI. So that is 13.42 inches per 360 to 17.45 inches per 360. I recently reverted back to 13.42 inches per 360, which was my original sensitivity in Battlefield 1 and also prior titles. I now currently utilize 400 DPI and 16% sensitivity, which equates to still, again, 13.42 inches per 360. Note that I do not utilize uniform soldier aiming. This matches your inches per 360 to your ADS. I do not like this feature. I really prefer if my sensitivity slows down when I zoom in. In reality, this can be harder to learn as there's a different sensitivity involved with each zoom, but keep in mind each zoom is different FOV to your base. This makes my 6x zoom in Battlefield 115 inches per 360. To cover the two sensitivities just briefly as an overview, I converted to centimeters, and that is 34 centimeters per 360 hipfire, or 292.78 centimeters per 360, which is a 6x. And then of course my previous lower sensitivity was 44.33 centimeters per 360, or 380.62 cm per 360 with a 6x. So this statement alone has a ton to cover on why I made so many adjustments and literally sets the stage for this whole video series, which is why I gave you all these numbers. They will require follow-up videos to cover each of the concepts, but the most important one of what I'm going to hit on today is, now that we covered my sensitivity, is your sensitivity. It's all about comfort. What works for me may not work for you because the way you grip your mouse / controller, how your wrist or arm hold up, how you fatigue after hours of gameplay or tension, however what have you. Do not really let anyone tell you there's a perfect sensitivity because there's not really a truly one for all individuals. It's like a shoe, not one size fits all. You could make a strong guess based on the hand size, mouse or controller size, play style, and all the above, but it really still comes down to, is it comfortable? I have in the description a list of sensitivities from CSGO pros, and you'll find that it's quite literally all over the map. You'll see a place where some pros land a higher sensitivity, but all pros on the lowest of low settings, and also some on the highest of high. Remember that the game can impact what your sensitivity should be comfortable for you. Do you need to do a lot of 360s or 180s like Quake, or is your gameplay much more linear like CSGO? I bring all this up because these are things to really be mindful of when you're finding your sensitivity. I recommend going into a sterile environment, such as like an aim trainer, an empty server, and going super high, then super low. Hit some dummy targets, and then keep adjusting until you find a sweet spot of what you currently want to achieve. Stick with that sweet spot and don't change it. Remember to document the settings in inches or cm per 360 as is something you want to migrate to other games so you are consistent. Remember, as you continue to grow as a player, your sensitivity settings will ultimately change. Do not go around changing your sensitivity every day. But if you do change, ensure you are doing so with practice and justification on why you're doing something. When you have an understanding of what is occurring, it gives you a better understanding of your aim, and that can really help you grow at a more accelerated rate. Here are some factors that can really change your sensitivity that I feel some do not mention. Reaction time. As your reaction time improves, you know where to hit your target, and you may slow down your sensitivity to ensure you just land the shot instead of just trying to get there. Or keep the same sensitivity if it's fast because you're just landing those shots and you just feel comfortable. Speaking of consistency, during long gaming sessions, a lower sensitivity can really start strong, but after 2 or 3 hours, it can really put some wear and tear. You could tire out and your focus will waver. Some with higher sensitivities, it could be a ton of unwanted stress on your wrist, and it can feel quite a bit with tension. When you fatigue, you build bad habits. Building bad habits are extremely hard to break, and your body and your mind will start to compensate for these mistakes before you fatigue. You gotta think long term with your gameplay. Predicting your shot. Well, when you start, you'll find you have to constantly adjust your shot as you're not very good at predicting your aim on your enemy. This is what kind of causes drag shots and corrections within your aim. At first, it would require you to make such large adjustments, but as you improve on predicting your shot on somebody from around the corner, you're going to require less movement. As you improve on predicting your shot from someone around the corner that requires way less movement, you may actually decrease your sensitivity to keep the same feeling as when the sensitivity was faster in making larger corrections. So again, or you may adjust to stay at the same speed. It really is just finding a comfort level because again, as you get better, the shots you're going to take more consistently are going to change. But you see how the concept, as you improve, it really changes what you start to adjust to. Now to explain my adjustment, I started off with 13 inches per 360, but I found I was overshooting my shots. It did build up a great consistency on turning to targets, but making minor adjustments was a huge pain. So I traded that off with my 360 and 180 speed, and I refined it on my aim by going slower. As I got more comfortable with the lower sensitivity, it made me realize that I can now see the changes I needed to make for minor adjustments, because I also would fatigue after a 5-hour gaming sessions, and I would feel it on my streams. When I played that I had a great start, then slowed down, then ended strong. I found the pattern and I fixed it. This is your job to do as well with your sensitivity and finding that pattern. Record your gameplay, remember the mistakes, and only change when you feel you have found something within that pattern. Those patterns include, am I losing focus? Is my aim getting lazy? Is this just my positioning and not my aim? Are my comms bad and not actually my aim? Does my body feel tension in a negative way while I play either in my arm or wrist? These are really all important questions. Remember, something that looks and feels great short term is not always the best solution. Think of repercussions this can have. Remember, it's just like a workout. Tension is not a bad thing, but only you truly know your body's limits, and it's important to see and feel what that is. So that's really what I wanted to cover today. This is a lot of topics. There's so much more to talk about in depth, but next week I will take the same conversation, expand on it further, and we'll discuss more DPI versus sensitivity, FOV, and pulling rate. I'm really excited as there's so much to share with this video series. There's dozens and dozens of videos to talk about. My goal is to break all these concepts down to a bare minimum to help you improve your aim. If you found this information helpful, please leave a like, ask questions, or comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all my content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.